Hello, dear friends, amazing viewers. It's always wonderful to have you join us on an amazing program, as always, on your favorite Red Lines. My name is Toju Toyo, and with me for the next 30 minutes, we'll have a wonderful time getting a closer introspection into society and, of course, trying to make it work a lot better. So, if I were you, don't go anywhere. Now, with me on today's program is going to be an amazing guest, an educationist with over 17 years of teaching experience, somebody who is close with young ones and should know better. And with him, we'll be discussing something that is quite timely and something that is quite impactful today, tomorrow, and of course for all time. We'll be discussing generational strength through education, focusing on mathematics, the dynamics of mathematics, generational strength through education, dynamics of mathematics. And it may interest all of us to understand that only recently we did get the information from the relevant offices that mathematics, which universally is a basic in academic progression, is no longer going to be a prerequisite for arts-related subjects. And it's in this regard we want to understand the potential implications of this. On Red Lines, as you may know, it's a program where we highlight issues that concern us today and probably would result in disastrous outcomes in the future. So join hands with me and let us see how we can think together, brainstorm together, and make our world a better place. Now, we'll take a little break and show you an interesting video, something that takes us into an ambience that we should all remember and learn from, very importantly. Like I did say, we're Red Lines trying to highlight dangers in societies that we should begin to understand, the early warning signs and, of course, prevent them. We're taking you back to 2002 and an incident of bullying, bullying in school and the disastrous impacts it can suffice. So you watch this and I'll be with you on the other side. It's the Red Lines, and my name is Toju Toyo. All right, so we'll get the video back to you really shortly. But while we put this technical part of these hicks together, I want to introduce somebody who I have very high regard for. Like I did say in my introduction, he's an educationist, one with over 17 years of teaching experience. Join me, make welcome to Mr. Patrick Onyemali. Patrick, nice to have you around.
Yeah, Mr. Toyo, thank you very much.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Patrick is somebody who's one with a youthful heart. He's had experiences working with hundreds and hundreds of young people, jamming them and jamming him in return. And of course, we just feel that this is, a round peg in a round hole that will help us create a little more sense into what we're talking about today. Like I did say, we're discussing generational strength through education, dynamics of maths. And since you're a stakeholder, maybe we'll start by asking you, what does the topic generational strength through education, dynamics of maths, bring to your mind?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Toyo. Generational strength. Over the years, you find out that our educational system has been going down the drain, and the strength is reducing day by day. And with the recent developments, mathematics as a subject is what we apply to an everyday life in all fields of life. We apply mathematics, whether you're a market woman, a businessman, a teacher, in every field, a mother, you apply mathematics in every home. So it's something we cannot do away with. And over the years, if you look at our mothers, per se, the normal market sellers, they have their normal business women market calculator. They know the informal part of mathematics. So mathematics is essential. It's an essential, just like I tell people for free. English is the king, or the maths is the queen. So these are the two primary subjects in education.
That one would always have to fall back on
yes.
to advance in life educationally. Yes. Okay, fine. So interestingly, the Ministry of Education, the Federal Ministry of Education, did through the National University Commission has said that mathematics, which for many decades used to be a basic prerequisite, to gain tertiary education, was now going to be exempted for art students, and this has come with a lot of excitement on one hand. Of course, has also come with hues and cries on the other hand. Which, as somebody who's got close to 2 decades, in education and educating, what's the likely implication? Do we rejoice about this for people like me who didn't like maths as such, or do we say this is a ticking time bomb?
Obviously, this is a ticking time bomb. We shouldn't rejoice over it. I think the information you said was very correct. The Ministry of Education, through the NUC, abolished mathematics for the art students. During our era, we had science, social science, and art. But presently, they've even modified it. You have the sciences, the business, and humanities. That's what they call art now. So, if you take away mathematics for the art students, like you said, the present humanities students, you find out that you are doing them a lot of harm. Because, like I stated the case study, before when we started, not quite long, I said, where one of the presenters interviewed the Minister of Works, and just a simple question: what is the per square kilometer of the road you are constructing? Because he doesn't have the fundamentals, there was no way he could give the right answers. So the same thing is applicable in homes, and if you remove mathematics from the humanities studies, you find out that mothers might end up cooking soups without Maggi, or probably with excess Maggi, because those little facts they should learn. Even in life, you as a human being, you plan. That's what they call planning. When you left your home this morning, you made budget of the money you spend.
Is that maths or common sense?
Maths. It's maths. Maths involves planning. It's maths. It's logical. You are logical about the things you do.
And maths is logic.
Yes, logic. Very true. So if you as an individual, you are going out, even in a week, you tend to have a budget of how much you want to spend on transportation. So somebody cannot just wake up one morning and call you from nowhere and say, okay, I want to see you, when it's not a matter of life and death, and you go and remove money from somewhere else with the way the economy is. My brother. So mathematics being abolished or taken away from the art students, it's a ticking time bomb, because obviously it's going to affect them.
Okay, so outside your scenario of soup, which I want to see as on a lighter note. I want to understand maybe in-depthly, right? Because when we talk about the arts and the humanities, we're talking about courses that really do not have to do with the sciences, calculation, and that would be involve things like maybe journalism, things like political science, things like maybe sociology in that realm. I'm not trying to find out in specific terms this time. Is there any direct connection between maths
and the arts? Yes.
Does it, can what the government is doing, does it have? Of course, it must have some level of justification, but does it have overt, convincing justification to do what this? Looking at the future.
Looking at the future, I don't know if I can say they should be justified for that action. But the truth is this: maths and art, they are interrelated. In what sense? I'll tell you. When you do English language as a subject, those days, even till now, they tell you in not more than 450 words. So how do you do the mathematics? So how do they calculate it if they don't need an element of mathematics? So even when you write, as a student, you tend to space your thing calculatedly.
Which is logic.
Which is logic. Because if you cluster everything together or put them together, whoever is reading it will get tired.
That'll be problem compounding,
Thank
not problem solving.
It's not problem solving. So obviously, it's, you see that whichever way, mathematics is related to virtually every field of life.
Okay.
Whether you are a journalist, it's related, highly related.
Okay, so even doing some basic research, even as we prepared for this program, trying to discuss generational strength through education, dynamics of mathematics, I did some research and looked at the advanced economies, the advanced societies in the world, say Israel, Germany, Canada, South Africa, and in all of these instances, mathematics seems to always be a recurring denominator, a recurring presence in their academic field. If this is the case, if this is the case, is it a time for us to have a rethink of devaluing the relevance or the importance of maths even to the arts, not only to science? Do we need to have a rethink?
A rethink
of re-examining this our decision, right? To
scrap out
beautiful, to make maths not an essential component, for arts students.
There should be a rethink. That action is not, for me, it's not a good one.
It's not professional.
It's not professional, yes. Because obviously, like I said earlier on, you made mention of the developed or the advanced countries who make mathematics a basis. Now you see, mathematics is a base that every country must make do of. Even in budgeting, how do you write a budget without mathematics? How do you calculate your expenditures and your revenue? So
how do you calculate population?
How do you calculate? So those are, even when you take population census, it is mathematical.
And that's a basic for any society to grow.
Yes, and it all boils down to it. It also tells you how you can actually share or allocate resources to each state.
And all of this is mathematical.
All these are mathematics. I think in 1973, when General Yakubu Gowon once made mention of that, the problem Nigeria has is not money. But the problem was how to spend it. And you see, that was telling you that our budget and our plan, we didn't plan it properly. Because if we got it right from that time till now, believe me, the economy would have been better off. So in budgeting, because we knew the money was there, the budgeting was not working the way it should. Everybody was just saying,
so if I get you right, get your maths right, get your society right.
Yes, just get your maths right, get your budget right, and work with it.
Society will try.
Yes, obviously they will.
Okay, so before, as we begin to round up, maths seems to be a terror to so many people. And you seem to be an advocate, of mathematics, saying that it's a nucleus, for advancement personally, collectively, and even globally. So what's the monster? Why do we, you've worked with students, with children. Okay. So what's the dread? What's the fear? Why?
Yes, coming to that aspect, I for one think it depends on who is imparting that knowledge to you, mathematics. For crying out loud, it's the simplest subject for me. The simplest, obviously the simplest, because you ask my grandmother when she was alive, she knows that 1 + 1 is 2.
Okay.
So, and mathematics is the way, like they say in the Bible, Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Mathematics is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Because the formulas doesn't change, the methods doesn't change, the approach doesn't change.
So why are kids,
So, like I said, it boils down on who is imparting that knowledge to you. Some depend on the method it is being dished out to you, the method they use to dish it out to you. Some people use the play method, some use the beat and drum here, different kind of methods. But it all boils down on whoever is giving you that knowledge, and at the same time, also try to counsel the child, per se, that this subject, don't be skeptical about it. don't have phobia for this subject. This subject is not something you should be scared of. I mean, you know, some have this, like you said, so some people is a terror, where they just have this phobia that maths is very difficult. I mean, it's quite easy. You know, for free, I take any day, anytime I choose to do a calculation course than doing a story writing. Because once you know the formula, it's carry go.
It's certain.
Yes.
Okay, but it's been wonderful speaking with you, Mr. Patrick Onyemali. And when you did talk about different methods to impact maths, you talked about the beating method, and you talked about the draw ear method.
Yes.
I bet my own self. I was a victim of the draw ear approach to learn mathematics.
Right.
But it's been wonderful doing this with you, and I just hope that moving on, we can understand that mathematics is actually a very essential part that we all need for our daily living. The more advanced societies we have in our world today have been able to make these advancements through mathematics.
Yes, through proper budgeting.
Yes, and the moment we are able to understand the concept of mathematics, we'll be able to get things done. You know, even getting, you know, innovation.
Obviously.
I want to believe it's part of mathematics.
Yes.
Beautiful. So let's hope that our children, and of course our administrators, and of course our parents too, will get to understand that we need more and more math in our life. We'll take a little break and come back, you know, bringing you a final segment on this program where we will highlight local concerns that, you know, bring up the red flag and draw the red line. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Just stay with us.
This is a true story about school bullying that led to a tragic act of retaliation ending in a massacre. Several students cornered Orlando in the restroom and began humiliating him without restraint. Orlando, quiet and withdrawn, didn't dare to resist at all. That experience left him deeply humiliated and insecure. To escape this torment, he made a decision. One day in October 2022, he went alone to a nearby weapons store. There, he not only purchased an Armalite rifle, but also bought over 600 rounds of 7.62 millimeter ammunition. With all that in hand, he felt confident enough to carry out his plan for revenge. But what he didn't expect was, his mother quickly discovered that he had bought weapons and ammo. Fearing that Orlando might do something reckless, she immediately called the police and told them her son had been emotionally unstable lately and was taking medication for depression every day. But the police did nothing in response. In a country obsessed with individual rights, as long as Orlando hadn't broken the law, they had no right to interfere with his freedom. That outcome left his worried mother feeling helpless. And once Orlando learned that she had called the police, he decided to move forward with his plan an entire week earlier than scheduled. On October 24, 2022, Orlando arrived at the school where he has studied for 3 years. When Orlando entered the school with his weapon, the security guard at the gate was terrified. Compared to Orlando's rifle, his police baton looked like a stick of firewood. At that moment, he had no choice but to raise his hands and surrender. Thankfully, Orlando didn't shoot at him. Instead, he walked straight to his classroom. Along the way, he passed some students from other classes. When they saw the weapon in his hand, they were also terrified. But Orlando had a clear purpose and didn't harm any innocent students. But when he reached the school gymnasium, he saw a student who had bullied him in the past playing basketball with others. So, Orlando took advantage of their confusion and pulled the trigger without hesitation. After opening fire, everyone in the gym collapsed. Once he finished in the gym, Orlando calmly walked to his own classroom door and then burst into the room while class was still in session. He first took aim at his teacher, then turned the gun on his classmates. At that moment, he wanted everyone to pay for what he had been through. After carrying out the attack, Orlando walked out of the classroom, satisfied. But by then, a large number of police had already arrived at the school. During the standoff, Orlando showed no signs of fear whatsoever and didn't fire a single shot at the officers. But faced with a dangerous and heavily armed suspect, the officers didn't hesitate. They opened fire immediately. With the sound of gunshots echoing, 19-year-old Orlando collapsed on the ground. Though he believed this act restored his dignity, he ultimately paid the price with his life. In truth, when facing school bullying, there are many possible solutions, but choosing such an extreme path only brings the deepest pain to one's own family. This is a true story about school bullying that led.
All right, nice to have you back. You're still watching Red Lines on your favorite television station, Delta TV. And with me on set is 17 years in practice educationist, Mr. Patrick Onyemali. Patrick, still very excited to have you with us.
Thank you once again.
Beautiful. Yeah. So as we get to our final stretch and red lines for today. We'll be discussing, about a local concern. We'll be able to identify a historic stop, of concern that we all should pay attention to and prevent for future occurrences. We'll be able to discuss in-depthly at our discussion session, our interview session, where we talked about generational strength through education, dynamics of maths, and now we'll be talking about a local concern, that would ultimately lead to a red line. So, Mr. Patrick, we'll put you on the spot. You live in Asaba Delta State. You're obviously a Nigerian, and because you've got blood flowing through your vein, you're a human being, so you live in planet Earth.
Obviously.
Now, so what's your concern in our world today?
Mr. Toyo, one of my major concerns should be this increasing rate of young men who they say they are doing business on the internet. And let me call them the Yahoo boys. Forgive me.
Internet fraudsters.
Yes, I happen to be in this field for years, and sometimes when I ask my students,
which field? The
teaching field.
Okay.
And when I ask my students, when you are through with your secondary school education, what's your dream? What's your aspiration? What do you want to study? I think if I have 100, over 75, they just say, no sir, I want to go to the street and make money. I want to,
quick money.
So they want to make quick money, and obviously the zeal for furthering their education is actually gone. They just want to struggle and do their school cert, and so that is a major red flag for me, because the rate at which this population is increasing. If you bring 100 young men on the streets and ask them if you have a job, I can tell you for free that 90 is into that internet fraud
manipulation. So come.
And sorry, sir, for cutting short. Over time, like in my own place where I come from, I think with time you go to some certain communities and you might not be able to get up to probably 20 graduates. The way we are heading, for real.
So is the Yahoo thing, is the internet fraud thing really profitable? Because if it weren't, would they go that way?
Obviously, it is profitable, my brother. It is profitable.
To them. But it's a temporal profit.
It's a temporal profit, because even I'm not trying to be religious.
Yeah.
The Bible says the bread of deceit might be sweet in the mouth, but at the latter on it will turn into gravel. So anything you make when you have not actually worked for it, when I mean genuinely worked for it, for me, I don't see that as success.
Can we say mathematics is one of the things? It's also maybe distancing these children who go into Yahoo, from maybe embracing more of education. And maybe if you can demystify mathematics, then it can also demystify or distance them from this internet fraud that they get into.
These young people are even good mathematicians, because they know every chart they charted with the last client. They know how to calculate and know the next line to tell the client. So brother, I've been dealing with, I meet students every day, so what I'm telling you. So that mathematics is not what is deterring them or stopping them.
So what's the way out?
The way
so
out,
we don't cross the red line.
Yes, the way out, I think, should start from the home. Because I know of so many homes who their parents encourage, even buy phones for their children. And say, your mate is doing it, go and do it. It should start from the home. They say charity begins at home. So every parent, every society is made up of a family. So every parent should work on their kids.
Yes.
Then, before we then talk about the religious places, institutions like the church, the mosques, and the rest.
So you keep on canvassing and rejecting their offers.
As well as the school. If we put our hands together, join our forces together, we should be able to get these things right.
And finally, do you think that maybe government, I think it's in China also,
yes,
where there are restrictions on age.
Internet.
Yes, internet restrictions, and maybe until you're 16,
you can get access to Facebook.
Yes, there are certain hours you can get access in the day. Do you think we should probably domesticate that kind of policy in Nigeria? Would that help to reduce the Yahooism?
Yeah, it will help. But before you bring out such law, you should also make provision for what will keep them busy. Do you understand me? Like I was discussing with a friend the other day. I said, as for crying out loud, like a case study. Yeah. You look around, we don't have industries.
Okay.
What we have is basically hotels, police station, and the rest, eateries. There's nothing that is
Which can also enhance the Yahoo.
You understand me? So we need, if you must do that, you must bring out something that will keep them busy.
Yeah.
Alternative.
Yeah.
You don't just tell somebody to stop something and you are not. Even if you want to quit smoking, there should be something that will
divert your attention.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. So it's been wonderful doing this with you, and for Mr. Onyemale, he's talked about the incidents of internet fraud and the need for all of us to shine our eyes early enough before the doomsday would come. And like he did say earlier on, there's also the draw ear approach mechanism. Let parents, let society, and of course on television here, we draw the ears of everyone that cares to listen. That internet fraud is a ticking time bomb that would consume all of us if we don't put our acts in order. It's been wonderful doing this with you out there, very amazing viewers, and of course with you in here, Mr. Patrick Onyemale, educationist for over 17 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for your time. Thank you, Lord, for your expertise. Thank you for your contributions, your thoughts.
Thank you.
And hope that when we call you some other time, you'd oblige us as you've done today.
Obviously, I will.
Oh, beautiful.
Obviously.
So that's the size of the program for today. It's been red lines, and of course we've been able to highlight timely experiences that we have with the potential for explosive outcomes in the near future. I hope you've understood, I hope you've listened, I hope you've imbibed. My name is Toby Toyo, and it's bye-bye from here. It's bye-bye for now.